What up, fam? Today we are gonna watch some uh, reaction material, and then we're gonna get started. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what's going on with my mic, like that. There we go. All right, let's start with a video I've been wanting to watch for a while.
Evolution designed every organism for a purpose. Bees are motivated to pollinate. Humans are meant to watch Umamasume lore videos. Horses are designed to run, and condors are meant to fly. But the strongest horse, he can do both. At the end of 1992, a horse owner producer by the name of Takeshi Watanabe was browsing the Tattersall's horse auction catalog and found a mare that caught his attention.
Yo,
Watanabe could hardly contain his
impossible.
excitement and sent his agent, Morio Sakurai, to the UK and make the purchase on his behalf. But when Sakurai arrived, the horse was nowhere in sight. Apparently, the mare fell ill just a few days before the auction, so she never made it out of Ireland. Watanabe refused to give up, and he insisted, I must have this horse. Sakurai had no choice but to immediately fly to Ireland and negotiate directly with the ranch. However, when he saw her, she was strangely lacking in appearance. Sakurai pondered, why does Watanabe-san want this horse so much? She has no racing record and her looks are unremarkable. Regardless, Sakurai made the purchase. The mare in question was Sadler's Gal. She was the daughter of Sadler's Wells, who was a successful racehorse and Britain's leading sire for 14 years. That basically makes him the British equivalent of Japan's Sunday Silence. Furthermore, Wells is the son of Northern Dancer. Oh, but Gal's pedigree gets even more impressive. Her maternal grandfather was Seattle Slew, the first undefeated American Triple Crown winner, which puts him on equal footing as Symboli Rudolph in terms of accomplishments. After finalizing all the paperwork, Sadler's Gal was shipped off to America to meet her stallion in 1994. Her breeding partner was King Mambo, a horse who just entered his stud career after having won 3 G1 mile races in France. Although King Mambo did have a successful career, Watanabe was more interested in his pedigree. King Mambo's sire was Mr. Prospector, who produced numerous offspring that has won a Triple Crown race, as well as being descended from Native Dancer. But wait, there's more. King Mambo's mother was Misk, a monster mare with 10 G1 victories and was eventually inducted into the American Racing Hall of Fame in 1999. So, both King Mambo and Sadler's Gal have impressive pedigrees. That should be an amazing combination, right? Not quite. Watanabe received a lot of backlash and criticism for this pairing. Some officials went as far as to say, are you crazy? No professional would attempt such a combination. Watanabe scoffed. Good thing I'm just an amateur. The point of concern for Watanabe's horse recipe comes down to this. Both Northern Dancer, grandson of Native Dancer, and Special, a mare born from Forley and Thong, were present on the pedigree of King Mambo and Sadler's Gal. Simply put, the level of inbreeding within these horses were uncomfortably high. Excessive inbreeding can lead to temperamental problems, weak constitutions, and other health or physical deformities. Obviously, Watanabe did not care. It was his dream to own a European G1 winning horse because of the prestige associated with it. He proceeded as planned, and on March 17, 1995, El Condor Pasa was born. The name El Condor Pasa is derived from the Peruvian folk song with the same name, which translates to The Condor Passes in English. Since the latter half of King Mambo's name is of Latin descent, Watanabe was reminded of his Peruvian senpai from his university days. Watanabe respected this person so much that he named his horse in honor of his senpai's culture. Interestingly, this is the second time he's named the horse as El Condor Pasa. The first El Condor Pasa was born in 1989, but he suffered a serious injury and was euthanized before his debut. while we're on the topic of names, in the game, El Condor Pasa's hawk, Mambo, is named after King Mambo. In 1996, El Condor Pasa 2.0 was moved to Japan and stayed at the Kimura Ranch until he was 2 years old. Afterwards, they transported him to Ninomiya's stable at the Miho Training Center in August of 1997. When the trainer, Yoshitaka Ninomiya, first laid eyes on El Condor Pasa, his impression was left wanting. He felt the horse was just normal, and even a little chunky looking. However, once training began, Ninomiya quickly realized how wholeheartedly wrong he was. In an interview, Ninomiya recalls, "At that time, I have trained horses for over 8 years, and there has never been a horse whose training went so smoothly. It was like butter. From when we started breaking him in and up to his debut, there was never a problem. He had no illness or injuries, and his temper was always calm, except when we needed to fit him with horseshoes." Since El Condor Pasa showed no signs of muscle fatigue or weakness, Ninomiya trained him with minimal rest. His non-stop training is even displayed in the game during Elle's first few story chapters, when she continuously exercises with multiple trainers day after day. She only starts to relax once she gets to our training regimen, which is also similar to life. Ninomiya eventually loosened up on the training intensity towards the end of summer in preparation for Elle's debut race. El Condor Pasa's first race was held on November 8th, 1997, on a 1,600-meter dirt course with Hitoshi Matoba, Reischauer, and Grass Wonder's jockey on the saddle. Fun fact, Hitoshi Matoba also rode Grass Wonder at the same Tokyo racecourse about 4.5 hours later that day. That will be important to remember for later. Ninomiya chose a dirt course in anticipation of the hard ground conditions due to the cold winter temperatures because El Condor Pasa was still maturing, so he did not want to put extra stress on the horse's legs. When the race began, El lagged so much that everyone escaped him immediately. He was in last place and stayed that way through the final corner. Watanabe lost all hope and was about to go home, but his horse suddenly exploded forward on the home stretch. In less than 200 meters, El Condor Pasa passed 8 other competitors, took the lead, and used the remaining distance to finish the race by a massive 7-length difference.
That's fantasy.
Everyone on the team was absolutely astonished. Watanabe called out, "I did not think he was going to be that fast." Additionally, Matoba reported, "I think this is a very timid horse. He did not want to get near the other horses and ran farther out. I think Elle's timid nature is the reason why the game makes her constantly wear a mask. She depends on it to have confidence so she can be the world's strongest."
Have confidence.
After their overwhelming victory, the staff decided to break early for the winter so El Condor can rest and continue developing. He resumed racing 2 months later on January 11th, but I think he may have enjoyed his winter holiday a bit too much because he gained a staggering 16 kilograms of weight. Similar to his debut, El Condor Pasa ran on another dirt course for his next race, except this one was slightly longer at 1,800 meters. Just like before, he was slow leaving the gate and ran among the far back up until the halfway point. At 800 meters remaining, El increased his pace and moved up towards the front. He was already lined up with the front horses upon entering the corner, and less than 1 length behind the lead after exiting. El passed the lead just a few moments after hitting the home stretch and crossed the goal with a 9-length lead. 1 month later, El Condor Pasa's next race was the Kyoto News High. This race was supposed to be El's first turf and graded race, but the course was changed to dirt at the last minute due to snowfall, which invalidated the grade 3 ranking as well. El's start was a little better than his previous 2 races, but he was still positioned in the back half during the early race. He increased his pace to move up towards the front as everyone approached the final corner, but his poor positioning forced him to the outside. However, we know by now that El Condor Pasa's true strength lies on the home stretch. His acceleration increased as he plowed through the heavy mud towards the finish. Only one other competitor could keep up with him, but his opposition did not last long. El seized the victory by 2 lengths. Afterwards, Ninomiya approached Hitoshi Matoba and asked, "Who will you ride, El Condor Pasa or Grass Wonder?" During these last few months, Grass Wonder was on break, so Matoba was free to ride another horse. But Grass just resumed training and his team was looking to get their primary jockey back. Ultimately, he chose Grass Wonder. Ninomiya found a replacement jockey, but Grass Wonder broke his right hind leg on March 15th, so his trainer told Matoba to go ride El Condor Pasa instead. News of Grass's injury spread like wildfire, and the replacement jockey assumed Matoba would return to his position as El's jockey. The new jockey gave up the saddle, and with no designated rider, Ninomiya was forced to use Matoba once again.
GFL2 is a game that combines the strategic complexity of turn-based squad combat with rich character progression through its wide cast of units, also known as T-Dolls. And I'm not lying at all when I say the visual design of these dolls.
At the end of April, while most Japanese horses were preparing for the first round of the Classic Triple Crown, El Condor Pasa entered the New Zealand Trophy. Contrary to what the anime and game want us to believe, El was not allowed to run in the Classics on account of being a foreign-born horse. I see you, Psy Games. You can't fool me.
Too.
The only G1 racing route available to foreigners at this time was the NHK Mile Cup, and the New Zealand Trophy was its trial race.
Wait,
El's
also an
aptitude for
American
turf
horse?
tracks will be tested at this course. He started from the back and moved up during the middle leg, but he could not break out of the pack in time for the final corner, so he veered to the far outside to get around the cluster of horses.
Pasa's American.
There were 18 racers present, and about 10 of them were ahead of El Condor Pasa when everyone entered the final straight. That's okay though, because El did what a condor does best. He flies. He flapped those magical horse wings as hard as he could, flew past every horse in just 200 meters, and won the race with another 2-length lead.
Damn.
3 weeks later, the NHK Mile Cup took place on May 17th, and El Condor Pasa finally achieved
they
a good
race more
start
than
leaving the
professional
gate.
fighters fight.
It seems like El is starting to conquer
You would
his
think it
timid
wouldn't
nature
be so
and
much
weariness
because,
around the other
you know,
competitors because he
The
positioned
high
himself
risk
in the
of
middle
injury.
with horses
I mean,
surrounding
they're all
him in every
running, so like
direction.
one of those horseshoes
Undisturbed by their
another horse in
presence,
the leg, and
El
it
continued
cracks their
running
leg.
and increased his pace as he approached the final corner. 4 horses, including El, were lined up as they entered the home stretch, about 1 length behind the lead horse.
Yep.
200 meters remain as
Come on,
El
Pasa.
dueled against
Come on,
2 other
Pasa.
horses
You
for
can
first,
do it.
but their
You
battle
can
was
do it. I
brief.
believe.
Seconds later, El Condor Pasa broke away and crossed the finish line by 2 lengths yet again. This victory marks his 5th consecutive win and the first G1 victory for himself and the trainer, Ninomiya. After their victory at the NHK Mile, the team rested El Condor Pasa during the summer to give his body more time to mature. Training resumed in August to prepare for their next goal. Normally, you would expect it to be the Mile Championship, but Takeshi Watanabe had more ambitious plans. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, Watanabe always dreamed of winning a G1 race in Europe, but you can't suddenly throw a miler into a medium-distance race. The conflicted owner consulted his trainer. He has proven his strength in the mile, but medium distances are unknown. I am worried it will be too much of a burden on the horse. What do you think, Ninomiya-san? The trainer confidently answered. It does not matter which way he goes. Mile, Japan Cup, he will win no matter what you choose.
True.
Without a moment of hesitation, Watanabe registered El Condor Pasa for the Japan Cup.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44,
Not
a
wrong.
complete AI creation platform.
In late summer, Grass Wonder's injuries healed and Matoba was forced to choose which horse to ride once again. In terms of condition, he knew El Condor Pasa was the superior horse.
I did not like
There
that,
was
bro.
no doubt
I
about
didn't
Grass
like that
Wonder's
either.
ability prior to his injury. After taking
I don't know
3
why I did.
full
I just-
weeks
I
to
did.
decide, Hitoshi Matoba chose Grass
I can't
Wonder.
remember the name of it.
Watanabe
I've
and
seen it
Ninomiya
before, I
acted
just
swiftly
don't
to
like
find
it.
another jockey, but failed at their first 2 attempts. Yutaka Take, who was on a 5-win streak with Silent Suzuka at the time, was one of their rejectors. Eventually, they secured Masayoshi Ebina as their new jockey, who briefly rode another one of Watanabe's horses. El Condor Pasa's training arc ended on October 11th when he returned to the Tokyo racecourse to compete in the Mainichi Okan. Among his 8 other competitors, 2 stood above the rest, Silent Suzuka and Grass Wonder. These 3 hardened horses were defending their respective win streaks in this race, but only one can remain undefeated. When the gates flung open, Silent Suzuka led the pack, El Condor Pasa chased, and Grass Wonder held the rear. El stayed within 2 lengths of Suzuka at first, but he slightly fell back at the middle section of the race, which allowed Grass Wonder to line up with him in the final corner. There were over 4 lengths of distance between himself and Suzuka once L hit the home stretch.
Dang,
Just as he
Grass
started
Wonder.
closing the gap, the race was over,
There
and
comes
El
Pasta.
Condor
Hold
Pasa
on.
finished in second place, 2.5 lengths behind Suzuka. L and his team experienced the taste of
Grass Wonder
bitter
just
defeat
fell back there,
for the
didn't she?
first time.
Suzuko said,
After the race, Ebina remarked, "It was a complete
Yeet.
defeat, but our time was fast, and he is just a 3-year-old horse. It was a good race." Even Yutaka Take praised El Condor Pasa. Silence could not run like that when he was 3. The second place horse is strong. The team's goal of facing off against the world's elite in the Japan Cup finally arrived at the end of November. As the gates opened, El Condor Pasa rushed to the front, but was quickly overtaken by another horse. After rounding the first corner, L was positioned in third, with Stay Gold, Special Week, and Air Groove close on his tail.
All right.
All 4 held their positions through the middle leg and lined up with one another at the final corner.
Sheesh,
L was closest to
look at
the
that.
inner rail,
Oh,
so his
wide.
advantageous position allowed him
Yo,
to hit
that's
the
just
home
like in
stretch
the
first.
game, bro.
El
They do
Condor
the exact
Pasa,
same thing.
Air Groove, and Special Week all
And then there
immediately
comes
passed the lead
Silent
horse and
Suzuka
escaped
falling
the pack.
back.
The
Yeah,
race became a 3-way battle between monsters.
the game
In
is
the
like
last 200
IRL,
meters
bro.
of the race, El Condor
Just
Pasa
with
spread his
characters
wings,
instead of
widened his
horses,
lead,
but
and
it's the
finished
same
in first,
exact kind of
2.5
thing that
lengths in
happens at the
front
end
of
of the
Air
race.
Groove. With this victory, he solidified his standing as the strongest horse in Japan. But horse
I
racing
mean, he got
fans
veins
needed
coming out
more.
his eyeballs.
They
You can
wanted to
see
see
it
him run in the
coming across
Arimakinen.
his nose,
Watanabe
bro.
declined. He declared, "The Arimakinen is the best-selling race in Japan.
I
From a
just hope
global
they ain't been
perspective,
feeding his
the Japan Cup is
horses
the
with
best
like
race.
steroids.
I already won there, so I don't need to overdo it."
Because I know
At
you
the
can
end
do
of the
that.
year,
I know
one
there are
horse needed to be
steroids
selected
made
for the
for
best
horses.
3-year-old
Why?
stallion award. Interestingly,
That is a thing.
the Double Crown winner of
you
that year,
can't really
Seiyun
understand
Sky,
that one, but
was not the
it's a
recipient.
thing.
Instead,
I've seen
the
it.
award went to El Condor Pasa, which is the only time in Japanese history where the Double Crown winner did not receive the award. On January 25th, 1999, ceremony was held for El Condor Pasa to receive the award. Watanabe publicly announced their plans to conquer Europe after the ceremony. Afterwards, El returned to the Miho Training Center and awaited his April 15th departure. When they arrived in France the day after, the team set up base camp at Tony Kraut's stable within the Chantilly Training Center, which was the same stable Taiki Shuttle stayed at during his European expedition. It's reported that El strenuously struggled on the unfamiliar turf at the start of training. Europe's tall grass was so difficult for him that even a light jog of 1 furlong per 15 seconds exhausted him. On rainy days, the loose ground completely fumbled his running form. Poor guy looked like a fish out of water. As more time passed, El's running technique adjusted to the new environment and his body changed as a result. His big, bulky body changed to that of a long and slender horse. On May 23rd, El Condor Pasa entered his first G1 race in Europe.
That's a whole lot of weight
Behind,
that I got to carry
El
around this
leaped out of
lighter
the starting
track.
gate and
That's
claimed his
harder to
position
run on.
within the middle group. He increased his
It's
pace
easier
at the
to run in
halfway point
dirt
and pushed
when
towards
you're
the
big
front.
and bulky because
Every
you have more
racer
power.
was tightly grouped
It's like
together,
Super Saiyan
entering
2
and
versus
leaving the
Super
final
Saiyan.
corner. As El ran down the home stretch, he briefly took the lead position, but was overtaken in the last few remaining meters and finished in second place. El's next race was the G1 2400-meter Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud. Everyone on the team was nervous because not only was this a longer track, but their horse would also be up against Europe's finest, such as Dreamwell, the previous year's winner for the French and Irish Derby, Saga Mix, who was last year's ARC winner, and Tiger Hill, Germany's representative horse of the year. But El Condor Pasa would not be intimidated by these horses. How can you call yourself the strongest if you're scared of a little competition? When the race began, it was business as usual.
On a racehorse.
El ran within the middle, slightly towards the front.
But
everyone kept pace behind the lead horse, who was roughly 5 lengths ahead. By the time everyone exited the final corner, the lead's advantage shrunk. There was less than a 2-length gap between first and second. El Condor Pasa, who was in fourth at the beginning of the home stretch, accelerated past 2 horses and lined up with the lead at 300 meters remaining. El continued flying down the straight until his opponent was no longer by his side. With a difference of 2.5 lengths, El Condor Pasa won his first European G1 race. Everyone on Team El Condor Pasa was overjoyed, with some members even shedding tears. Ebina confessed, I was worried we would lose against such strong opponents. I should have trusted my horse more. Ninomiya added, if we lost here, there would be no point in continuing. I was relieved we can stay until the end. Unfortunately, everything comes at a cost. 2 external injuries were discovered on El Condor's right hind leg after the race. To make matters worse, bacteria entered the wound and he developed a mild infection underneath the skin. El Condor Pasa was forced to refrain from training for a full month. Luckily, when training resumed in early August, there was still 1 month to spare before his next race at the G2
That's in the
Pre-Foy.
first season and second season and the third.
You don't sound like a
Lantern John career soldier.
No one believes your
More voice.
But you know
That's
what
why
though?
you need voice mod.
Sound off of the voice that matches your main.
In the days
That anime, this anime right here,
leg after the race. To make matters worse, bacteria entered the wound and he developed a mild infection.
this anime, you know, a lot of people have seen this, right? That's American. And they talk to me about it all the time. I'm like, have you seen Osmosis Jones? It came out in like 2003, 2004. It's way better than any anime that talks about killing germs. And it's American made. It's simple. It's easy to understand. Kid Rock sings in the motherfucking movie. If you ain't watched it, go watch it. Osmosis Jones is the best. He should have put Osmosis Jones right there instead of him with old buddy with the dreads coming in with the typhoid fever or whatever it was that his dad that the little girl's dad got from eating he ate an egg that a monkey stole out of his hand that then dropped down in shit. He picked it up and then ate it out of the cage and then said ha ha to the monkey like he won. I'm like, bro, you about to get so sick. And then that's when the movie starts. Bro is literally on a 24-hour life limit. Like literally, if what happened in the movie didn't happen, dude was about to die. Like right there. Y'all need to go watch Osmosis Jones. You ain't watched it in years or never watched it to begin with. It's a great movie. The actors are really good. The voice actors are great. The artistic value of it is on the same level with Atlantis, the Iron Giant, movies like that. You know, Pocahontas, you know how they artistically done in an American way, but really nice? That's how it's done. And then Bill Murray is the main actual character in the movie. So if you ain't watched it, go watch it, please. Anyways, back to the video.
And underneath the skin, El Condor Pasa was forced to refrain from training for a full month. Luckily, when training resumed in early August, there was still 1 month to spare before his...
You see those green things? Those green things? Those are in the Osmosis Jones movie. Both of those types in the club. They're both in there.
Next race at the G2 Pre-Foy. In the days leading up to the race, several competitors canceled their registration because the turf conditions were not ideal to their taste.
One day I'll stream
Only
Osmosis
3 racers
Jones.
remained, including El Condor Pasa. The other 2 horses were Croco Rouge and Borgia, both of whom El has already beaten. With so little participants, El Condor Pasa acted as the lead horse and set the pace. The other 2 horses tightly chased after him in every stage of the race.
Go, Pasa, go!
Only after leaving the final corner did things
Pasa
start
in
to change.
second, right?
Borgia hugged
Yeah.
the inside rail and came out of the corner less than 1 length before El.
Yeah, that's Pasa.
Both
I can
horses
tell.
gave it their all while running
See,
down
bro,
the final
bouncing.
straight.
Bro
In
is
the
on
last
his knees on the horse's
150
back.
meters,
See, that's what I don't
El gained a
understand. Like they
slight lead
cross their
and
knees
crossed the goal with a
and buckle
difference
them
of a head's
in
length.
and then put their knees
News
on
of
the
El
back of
Condor
the horse
Pasa's
instead
victory
of
spread all
standing
over
up
Europe
off of the
and even
horse
crossed the seas to
in
Japan
the
as many
stirrups,
fans were
in the
watching the
ring,
race on
and
Japan's
balancing
public
themselves.
broadcasting
They'd be a lot
network.
faster if they did
El
that.
Condor's popularity
I'm just
among the
saying.
training center exploded. Everyone supported
Like,
him and even gave him
What's his name? We watched the video on him yesterday. That guy, he rarely sits down on the horse. He might buckle his knees in, but he doesn't actually sit on the horse. He stays up all the way through the finish. Both of those guys were sitting on the horse. That's why they were both bouncing like that, crazy. They was going insane. I was like, why are they heads bouncing like that? And I'm like, oh yeah,
at their
they're sitting
facilities
on
for his preparation in the arc.
Yep.
3 weeks later, on October 3rd, El Condor Pasa
Two
entered
times
the
I
most
rode a horse in
prestigious
my life. That's
G1
exactly
race
what
in
happened.
Europe, the Prix de l'Arc
Even
de
when they were
Triomphe.
walking, so I
as
can
the
imagine when they're
second most
galloping that they're
favorite
just
horse.
like.
This was the
like,
first time a
going
Japanese
crazy.
horse had such a high popularity ranking in the arc. That day, the grass was drenched from the previous night's rainfall that persisted into early morning. In fact, the ground was so wet that the turf hardness was the softest it had ever been since
I can't use my camera.
1972.
That sucks.
Massive holes littered the course. Regardless, all 14 competitors entered their gates. As soon as the gates opened, El Condor Pasa burst forward like a bat out of hell and immediately claimed the front position. One horse tried to contest the lead, but he could not surpass El, so he retreated to his rear. El maintained the lead through every corner and every straight, up until everyone got on the home stretch. He had a 2-length lead with 400 meters remaining, but Montjou was gaining on him. 200 meters, 1-length lead. 100 meters, both horses are lined up. 50 meters, Montjou overtakes El and finishes the race with a difference of half a length. Even though he did not win, El Condor Pasa received tremendous applause. After the race, Ebina expressed his aggravations.
On himself, though.
Losing is losing.
I know that's just
so the
dirt
result
that
is
flies up
frustrating,
off the track.
I have no regrets.
But it does look
We
like
ran
half of
with
them shard
strength.
on themselves. When
Even
they cross the
Montjou's
finish line, you
trainer
see the back of
commented,
their pants.
Montjou's specialty are heavy
They
tracks.
should wear darker colors
If it
and
was
stop
sunny
wearing the
with
white.
a hard track,
Or at least
we
wear
would not
plaid.
have been able to compete.
Like,
Ninomiya
I'm saying?
stated, the horse tried his best.
Give me some
And
Scottish
everyone
color
involved gave
plaid.
their
Like,
all. Second place
give me the
is a
green
good
over
result.
the red over the green
I am
over the
grateful
blue.
for it.
Like,
Watanabe added, it was a nice try. He did a good job. Now, he can rest. Watanabe announced El's racing retirement shortly after. El Condor Pasa's European expedition was over, and the team returned to Japan on October 11th. Many fans sent requests for El to run in the Japan Cup and the Anime Kinen before his retirement, but Watanabe firmly refused. As an owner, it is my responsibility to see this horse enter the ranch with energy to spare. On the 28th of October, 1999, during the Japan Cup's lunch break, a retirement ceremony was held for El Condor Pasa. He wore the same number cloth as the one he used in the arc and showed off his last run with Masayoshi Ebina on the saddle. His final career record stands at 8 wins out of 11 races. 2 of his victories were in Europe, with one of them being a G1. Watanabe finally achieved his dream of owning a European G1 winning horse.
oh, you know it.
Just a few months after retirement, in January of 2000, El Condor Pasa received 1999's Best
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Nope.
4-Year-Old Stallion Award and the JRA Horse of the Year Award, which sparked considerable controversy. Horse racing fans and critics were upset because El Condor Pasa did not race in Japan a single time
he's
in
always
1999. He was in Europe.
He came
They
in first.
argued,
That's the worst.
There are strong horses right here in Japan. They ran hard right in front of our eyes.
Right in front of
If it's
our
going
eyes.
to be like this, you might as well give the award to Montjou. So, how did this happen? Well, the
That's
3
weird.
nominees were Special Week, El Condor Pasa, and Grass Wonder, in that order, for receiving the most votes.
Where
However,
is-
at the time, the rules state
Yo,
that
I
the
heard
winner must
something
hold the
crazy
majority
back there.
vote. Since
I
no
overseas
nominee
that.
had the majority, a selection committee of 11 people was used to determine the winner. The committee immediately eliminated Grass Wonder as one of the candidates. Then, a runoff election between El Condor Pasa and Special Week took place. El won 7-4. Afterwards, the committee unanimously chose El Condor Pasa as their representative for the JRA's Horse of the Year. They proclaimed his presence on the world stage cannot be ignored, and the proper respects need to be paid. Immediately after his retirement, El Condor Pasa was sent to Shaddai Stallion Station to begin his stud career. When
Alright.
El first arrived, the manager of Shaddai Stallion
It's like you
Station
get
was
the race.
baffled
You
by
get a
his
race. Hold
appearance.
on.
This horse is so timid. It just
Man, I wish that's how it worked in real life for humans. We work until we're like 35, and then we begin a stud life career, and we get paid for it for having kids. Oh man, yeah, I'd be down for that. Work for 20 years and then stud for 20 years. Yeah, I'm good with that. You just have kids for 20 years and then retire and get paid per kid. Hey, it makes sense. It logically makes sense. If there's a country that's like in need of a new population of children, it makes sense to offer a reward for having kids. Just like right here, they get paid for him having kids, right? So it would stand beg to differ that you could do the same thing with people, because people aren't going to be mad about this, especially not guys. We're going to be like, that sounds like a great deal. $5,000 a kid. Yeah. I'm having intercourse every night. Like, I'm gonna find it. $5,000 a kid, $2,000 a kid, $1,000 a kid. There you go. Like, you know what I'm saying? 500 a kid. There you go. Like, I'll do it. I'd be down, and I know there's a lot of other dudes that would be down. Because there's a lot of people out here that want to have kids that can't have kids. And again, 100% down for it. Down for the cause. Down for the cause. I know that's why they have S banks. You know, you fill in the other 3 letters of the first word, but that's why they have those banks. I know this, but a lot of people can't afford $20,000 to get injected. You know what I'm saying? So you want to pay $20,000 to get injected and it might not work, or you want to pay $1,000 to get injected and it 100% will work. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. I'm just being real with you. Especially if you're like a O negative. Because if you're O negative and your partner's O positive and y'all try to have a kid together, the body will attack the fetus. And I tried to explain this to one of my friends, and it just did not get through. Like, it didn't make sense to them. They were like, what? They're human. Da-da-da-da. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's the blood. It's the blood. It's the blood. If the blood don't match, it's not compatible, then the infant dies. That's it. Like, it's that easy to understand. And I told my friend this, right? Because they were like, you know, we've been trying for this kid. We've been trying and trying. But every time I get pregnant, then something happens and I lose a kid. And I'm like, are you O negative? And she said, yes. And I said, well, is your boyfriend or person you're engaged to, are they positive? It said, yes. I was like, well, there you go. That's why, right there. It's because you're O negative and he's O positive. That's why it doesn't work. That's why you keep losing the baby. Well, you know, I tried to make it make sense to them. Now, if they didn't listen, that's on them. They can keep having that issue. Yeah, man. Oh man, Chris was right again. Oh my goodness, how come Chris is always right about stuff? Look, common sense ain't common no more.
not fit the personality of a first-class racehorse. I can't tell if he's a speed type, stamina type, whether he's good on turf or dirt, or which parent he takes after. Yes.
I don't know if I have a lot of common sense or I'm actually smart. Now, is there a difference between the two? At this point, no. At this point in society, there is not a difference between having a lot of common sense and being very smart. They literally go hand in hand. Now, you can be very smart and not have any common sense. which just makes you look like an idiot because you learn a lot and you know a lot from books, but then you try to apply it to the real world and it never works and you can't figure out why. You have no friends and you're stuck in the house all the time. That's why. That's why. You can't figure out why nobody likes you because you're not sociable, because you have no social skills. You have no life skills. You were told to go to school, read a book, read a book, read a book, which you didn't read the book to learn anything. You read to be able to regurgitate that information whenever you needed to. And that's like the worst way to learn. That's why I didn't like school. So what I did was I wouldn't read it all. For like till 5th grade, I wouldn't read it all. I would just go context clues, common sense. And I'd be able to do all my homework and everything. I didn't get in trouble for not reading until like 3rd grade when my teacher let my mom know that she saw something odd. And then I didn't get in trouble, but my mom was just like, wow. So this stuff is so easy that he doesn't have to read it. He can just context clues all the answers. And the teacher's like, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what's happening, Mom. Like, I don't have to read this. It's not hard. This is like easy stuff that they're just trying to get me to remember for a week. And then by Friday, I'm going to forget it. And then by Monday, I'm not going to know it at all. And then we're going to start on something new. Doesn't make sense to me. What's the point in learning something if you're not going to remember it? So, yeah. Anyways.
No distinguishing features. After hearing this, sports writer Masatoshi Goto reported, his lack of features is the biggest feature of El Condor Pasa. He is so well-rounded that nothing stands out. This may be the ultimate form of thoroughbred. Despite his looks, L's racing performance and pedigree speaks for itself. He was extremely successful as a stallion. In his first year, L was partnered with 137 mares. He exceeded everyone's expectations.
Pasa was in
that
there.
many people believed he would replace Sunday Silence
Pasa
as the
was in
new
there getting
leading
busy.
sire. Unfortunately, that will never come to
137,
fruition.
bro, that's crazy.
3 years into his life as a stud, on the evening of
Then again, 137 is only about a tenth of what we know one person chose to do in their house over the course of a weekend or a week is like 1,000 dudes. That happened. So I can definitely believe that a horse can do that with 137 mares. You know, if one girl can take 1,000 in a week, then that stands to make sense. It doesn't even sound that off. That don't even sound like a lot when you put that in the frame of mind that we know that people can go, okay, I can do this 1,000 times in a month with 1,000 different people and be completely fine. I didn't even know that was possible. Okay? I didn't know it was possible. So now when I hear horses doing what they're doing, I'm like, oh, wow, that's not that much, actually. That's like once a week, twice a week type deal. You know what I'm saying? 137, yeah, that's like once or twice a week. That's not a lot. That's like the average married guy that has a committed partner has. That's how you know where your relationship is too. That's how you know. If you ain't having none months at a time, then either she disinterested or she don't like what you're doing. One or the other. And if that's the case, cut it off. Cut off the poison before it infects the whole thing. Before it infects everything. Otherwise, you might end up outside on your ass with nothing.
July 13th, 2002, El Condor Pasa showed signs of colic and was immediately rushed to the hospital.
Guys.
Upon
Cut and
examination,
run, guys. Cut and run.
veterinarians discovered his intestines were
If she
twisted,
don't give it up and she's in a
surgery was
relationship
performed the
with
next
you,
morning.
y'all been in a relationship
Although
for
the
a long
surgery
time,
itself
and
was
it's been a
successful,
month, 2 months,
L's
still ain't gave up
condition
none.
was not.
Cut and run.
El Condor Pasa
Tell her
tragically
to
died
dip.
at
He gone.
9:10 p.m.
Slide.
on July
Slide.
16th, 2002, at the age of 7. Not even the strongest horse could escape the clutches of death. In his short 3 years as a stud, El Condor Pasa sired 339 foals with over 200
339
winning
kids.
races. Of his offspring, the 3 who stand out the
339.
most are Vermilion, the first horse in history to win a G1 at 5 different racecourses in Japan; Song of Wind, who won the 2006 Kikosho; and Alondite, who won the Champions Cup during
Almond
his
Eyes.
first
Wait.
appearance in a
Pause. So Almond Eye is El Condor Pasa's child. Everybody says Almond Eye is like one of the matriarchs of the sport. I knew it was a lie because Almond Eye is too young. I knew it, but somehow that like people made me think that Almond Eye was like born in the 80s and like race 90s and then stop. Nah. Nah, Pasa was her dad. I mean, his dad. Whatever.
rated race.
Was their dad.
Furthermore,
Which
El
is
Condor
hilarious.
Pasa opened the door to the future for all horses, not just his
Yeah.
descendants. El is widely regarded as the horse that popularized Japan's entry into the Ark. There have been many Japanese horses competing in Europe, such as Seeking the Pearl and Taiki Shuttle, but
Wow. Yo, where do I find this image of Taiki Shuttle? I got Taiki Shuttle. Yeah. She's American too. And she matches my style. She got the cowboy hat with the yeah, I like that. That's how I wear my hat. I gotta have this on my hat.
up until El Condor Pasa, none have found success in the medium distance, which is considered as the
'Cause the wind be
cornerstone of
blowing in
European
North Carolina,
horse
boy.
racing. Owners and trainers
You know what's funny? That people think cowboys came from Texas. I find that hilarious. Cowboys ain't come from Texas. They went to Texas. Cowboys came from all over the Midwest and the East. They all went to Texas when oil got popular. When they found out oil fields was out there, that's why they went to Texas. And the ones that didn't find no oil just became ranch hands. That's what happened.
no longer associate
But you can't tell some people that because some people just got that mind about them. They done got a lie up there, and now it's stuck up there.
it with humiliation and saw it as an opportunity to prove themselves. His performance in Europe encouraged horses like Nakayama Festa or Fevre and Deep Impact to participate in the Ark. Fun fact, when Nakayama Festa ran in the Ark in the fall of 2011, Masayoshi Ebina was his jockey, and the trainer was Yoshitaka Ninomiya. They stayed at the same Tony Kraut stable.
Matter of fact, Cowboys literally were in the East way before they were in the West because they only got to the West due to the Oregon Trail. So literally Cowboys had to come from the East. That's funny. Take that, Texas. Hey, you might have Cowboys there now, but you didn't originate the Cowboy. We did. Over here on the East Coast. Yeah, I know. You don't like it. It's okay. It's okay. Just like not all Cowboys were ever white, you know? They just, for some reason, did not ever show Cowboys on TV in any other color except that. And I don't know why. It don't make sense to me. But I always knew that something was really off about that because that don't sound right at all. You know what I'm saying? It's like TV, it's like the entertainment of the entertainment big heads, right? They just kind of like brainwashed all of America into what they think a cowboy is, right? And it's just not true. It's closer to the Evil Eight on how cowboys were than Red Dead Redemption. You see what I'm saying? The Evil Eight were closer to the truth than Red Dead Redemption or any movie in the past that had cowboys in it. At half the time, cowboys were depicted wrong anyway. They weren't all gung-ho. All of them had 6 shooters, and that wasn't. No, everybody wasn't walking around looking like they in Red Dead Redemption. The fuck, like, come on.
As El Condor Pasa did, and were referred to as Team El Condor. Adding on to his list of accomplishments, El Condor Pasa was the highest ranked Japanese trained horse in the world's best racehorse ranking, with a rating of 134 pounds in the long distance category. His rating was not beaten until 24 years later by Equinox, who achieved only 1 pound higher. El Condor Pasa was born to run, but in life, he soared. His legacy will live on through his descendants, and Umamasume fans are able to experience a glimpse of his greatness. May he be as free as a bird in the afterlife. The flight of the condor never ends, and neither will his legacy.
El Condor Pasa, that's who we're gonna do a run with as soon as we get done with this video. All right, boom. Hey, we might watch this. We might watch Dodo. We might watch Dodo's adventure, which she's right here, by the way. I don't know why it's looking at at her. I don't know why. Why am I coughing? What the? Not even doing anything. Anyways, I don't know why it's looking at her, because Dodo is right here, bro. Mizuru Dodo is right there, bro. She's in the corner. I don't know why I was concentrating on her. But anyway, we're not gonna watch that right now. We're gonna play the game, because it's been about an hour, 47 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream, start a new stream, and then that'll be the game stream. I'm gonna start doing this regularly, by the way. We're gonna start doing reacts before the runs.